Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Chris's Habs Corner. Last week we talked about Zach Benson's game, potentially different players in the top 10 that the Habs could pick at number 5 if Michkov is not selected by the Habs. So today we're going to talk a little bit about Ryan Leonard's game. Watched a lot of scouting reports and read up on a lot of different information on him, talk about him a little bit. And then probably going to dive into the Cole Caufield situation and everybody's panic around why the deal hasn't gotten done yet a little bit. I'll give you my take on that. So let's get right into it, guys. All right, so Ryan Leonard on the stat sheet here, 5'11", 181 pounds. With the U.S. National U18 team this year, he had 39 goals, 75 points, 45 games played. He isn't projected to go number 5. He's definitely projected to go in the top 10. And you're going to see why here. His skating, as far as his skating goes, he is one of the better straight line skaters in this draft. He has really good speed and acceleration from a standstill. He is a skater that has really good agility and can change direction quickly with speed. He can make some pretty decent high end plays with the puck at full speed. He does a really good job at pushing the defense back, building up speed through the neutral zone, just being able to push the defense back and open up the ice offensively. He could work on his agility, his edge work a little bit. He does, not to say that he doesn't get pushed off the puck a lot, but he does seem to need to work on his balance a little bit more when he gets to the NHL level. He could have sharper turns. He could create more on the cycle play if he just found his balance and his strength within his balance a little bit better. And a lot of scouting reports talk about his defensive skating. He isn't the fastest with his pivots or his backward skating, and he does need to improve on that a little bit as well. But his main bread and butter with skating is his straight line speed and being able to make plays and do high end things in a straight line. He can jump out and just. The thing I really like about Ryan Leonard is when he enters the zone and he sees a skating lane where he can create space for himself and time and space for his teammates entering the zone, and he sees that open lane and that open space, he takes it and he takes off like a lightning jet and he blows by a defender and just opens up the offense, in transition offense going into the offensive zone. And then, just his overall compete, he's a player that really just never gives up on the play. He does win a lot of puck battles simply because he just wanted the puck more and he just never, his tenacious nature, he just never stopped, going at it in the corner. Like I said, he's not an exterior player. He drives towards the middle of the ice with the puck a lot of times. He'll drive to the net. He has a pretty good sense of finding lanes to get to the net when he's on the puck, he just wins a lot of battles in the corners too, just because of his physicality and his strength, and just a mixture of that and just his pure skating abilities at times too. He's in the NHL. You can really see he's going to be a pretty good forecheck player as well as a cycle board player. It's going to be hard to kind of knock him off the puck in the corners. And then his playmaking it's good, but it's not elite. He's a smart playmaker, but he's not super creative, and that's what a lot of scouts talk about with him. Ryan Leonard is the type of player that will make the short and most dangerous effective pass versus holding onto the puck and having the ability to really see a more high-end elite play unfold by having some more patience and skating around with the puck. He'll be behind the net. He'll see the open passing lane in front of the net. He'll take that short pass. He'll be in the high slot, see an available pass in the low slot. He'll make that pass. He won't try to really make high-end elite plays, or I don't really think he has the vision for that. But he is smart with it. He does make really good decisions offensively within the short area game in the offensive zone. I think he understands that as well. And I don't think he overdoes it. I think he knows that that's his game and he sticks to it. And I think he knows that that's going to be his game at the NHL level. I don't think he's going to try to really over finesse or over wow you with the puck. I think he really has a good understanding of what his strengths are. Not just with his playmaking, but just so overall his whole game. It's a more direct, simple game that he has with the puck. And he doesn't. You won't really try to send the puck through traffic either. A lot of cross ice passes, that length in the offensive zone. He doesn't have the hands to really sauce that puck into a nice, nifty little corner, deadly accurate. He just, like I said, not to be repetitive, but it's just short, simple, accurate passes a lot of the times. So, I mean, that's that with that. As far as his shooting goes, his shot, a lot of scouting reports and the videos I've seen talk about, there is one thing that's super great about his shot, right? The rest is mediocre. Well, not good, but not elite. His shot's deadly accurate. He can put the puck wherever the hell he wants. With really, really precise, extreme accuracy. And that's why he put up points, put up a lot of goals, in the U.S. National U18 team this season. It's really accurate, but it's not a heavy shot with a lot of velocity or hardness to it. And he doesn't really have too many multiple release points. It's more of just one release point. So his shot's not, it's not unpredictable. It is pretty predictable. It's an average shot as far as that comes along, but he does have that accuracy to it. So I don't think his shot is better than a guy like Michkov, who has 5 different release points and has the patience to walk in on a goalie before he releases it. And half the time you never know whether it's coming off his backhand or his forehand, or whether or not it's going to be a one-touch one time, or if he's going to sweep it and then have a different release point where it's really unpredictable. He doesn't have that to his shot. It's just really accurate. So his shots overall is pretty good, but not super elite. And overall with him, he's projected, obviously, to go in the top 10. There are plenty of other players within the top 10 in this draft that have a better chance at being a top 6 player. But Ryan Leonard is a definite middle 6 player, right? He's not a bottom 4, a 4th line player at all. He is a middle 6 player. He was going to be there for probably the length of his career. Like I said, there's just other players that are just have the edge over him a little bit in a lot of different departments. Ryan Leonard is a guy that's, I think, pretty good in every department, but he doesn't have something that's super elite. His attributes are all well-rounded, but not super elite. And then one more thing I forgot to touch on is defensive game. He does need some work as well. He is caught puck watching a lot of times and kind of floating around, not really closing in on the man he's supposed to stay playing on man. He does kind of let players in his vicinity walk in on him a little too easily when they are set up defensively in zone. So he does have some work to do with that. Just positionally wise as well, being in the right place at the right time defensively, which I think is going to come along with his game once he gets to the NHL level, right? That's stuff that can easily be honed in on and just harped on to him, to create more consistency and develop that part of his game more. So I'm not too concerned about that either, especially with, his competitive nature. Just overall, he never gives up on any plays anyways. It's not like, I don't think it's out of pure laziness. I just think he just needs that hockey sense and awareness defensively a little more honed in on, guys. So like I was saying, he's definitely a middle 6 player. I hope the Habs don't pick him, to be honest. I really hope they pick Michkov. I've already voiced my opinion on that. If for whatever reason they selected Ryan Leonard, I would say he's a player that, one player on the Habs roster that really stands out to me that could benefit from what seems to be Ryan Leonard's style of play is a guy like Yuri Slafkovsky, right? Yuri Slafkovsky slowly coming into his game of learning how to use his frame and use his size. and go back to his style of play of how he was playing in Europe to create plays and create space for himself below the goal line, or just on the boards, just doing these give and goes and just driving through players with his big body. And Ryan Leonard's a player that's going to understand where to be and how to use himself with his tenacious nature along the boards to really be a compliment to Slafkovsky. I could see the two of them having a lot of give and go plays along the boards to open up space, just bounce off each other, driving through players to create space to drive towards the net. That's kind of in Uri Slafkovsky's wheelhouse to play that kind of style anyways, and I think Ryan Leonard would be a guy that could really be a facilitator for him, for Slafkovsky with the puck, But like I said, still rather take Smith or Michkov over Ryan Leonard. No offense, Ryan Leonard's definitely a top 10 draft pick, but like I said, Michkov is just a gem this year that you're not going to see for a long, long time, guys. And the Habs just can't afford to pass up on that. But I talk about that in every single episode, so let's not get on that rant. We're just going to finish this up with the Cole Caufield drama. Look, guys, I know there's been a lot of reports and a lot of discussion how this deal was supposed to be done a couple of months ago. What is taking Kent Hughes and management so long? Why hasn't this deal gotten done yet? Caufield's literally about to be on the verge of being eligible for an offer sheet. He is an RFA in June. I believe it's June 30. All I'm going to say is, look, Caufield wants to be here, right? You see him. He's stuck out in the city of Montreal after his shoulder surgery and stayed there for the remainder of the season. He's buddy best friends with Nick Suzuki, right? He's always around the team, always affiliated with some sort of event going on, even in the off season here. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he even went out to the press and locker clean out there and said he wants to be here, right? The only way he leaves is if he doesn't want to be here, regardless of the money, regardless of it, right? It's up to him if he wants to sign an offer sheet that another team offers him. I don't see that happening, knock on wood, right? Like, if the New Jersey Devils offered him an offer sheet for 7 years at $8 million, he would still have to accept it. Okay, I don't see that happening. Secondly, I think what this is really boiling down to is, I think Caufield's agent is really trying to just bump up the money a little bit more. Ken Hughes and management are probably trying to negotiate down towards the $7 to $7.5 million range, and Caufield's agent is trying to get for 8.5. Okay, so I think they're close in that regard, but I think there's just a little bit of bumpiness to smooth out in the details of the contract. And personally, I think this is a bridge deal. I think they've already come to terms and agreed that this is a bridge deal. A, because Caufield's going to get more money that way, right? And B, and I know a lot of people probably don't agree with me, we all want to see the longer-term contract to save money in the long run in case Caufield has like an absolute asinine breakout year and scores 55 or 60 goals this year. We want to lock him up long-term and just get it over with now. But there is, knock on wood again, that's what that shoulder surgery is going to do to him, in the next couple of years. Yeah, 9 times out of 10, he's going to be perfectly fine, and if not, it's going to make his shoulder even better. The muscle groupings around that shoulder even stronger and bind together even more, but we don't know for sure, right? So I'm on the side of always being a little more hesitant and conservative, and I would much rather just see this a bridge deal at 2 or 3 years to really just truly be 100% sure that the shoulder surgery and the shoulder is not going to affect his career, right? Even if it means we lose out on, a couple million a year and a bigger contract in 3 years, right? I would just much rather see that go down. So, I'd rather see that happening. And I see him being locked in on a bridge deal pretty soon here within the next couple of weeks, Ken Hughes and management, it's been pretty quiet around the office for the Habs management. There's not a lot of chatter, not a lot of rumors going on in the past week. I think they're just buckling down, going to work, really just getting this done. So I don't think it's not time to hit the panic button on the Caufield situation. I just knock on wood again because I'm very superstitious. He's not going anywhere, guys. He's not. Everybody just relax. Just a little bit of notes and news from this week. Sam Montembeault, Justin Barron, and Team Canada are going to the gold medal game on Sunday. Believe Team Canada, if I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong. I think they played Latvia in the IHF in the semifinals, and Montembeault stood on his head and made 26 saves out of 27 shots faced. Another stellar game for him. So we'll see how that goes. See if they can pull off the gold medal, and that's just so good for his confidence and Justin Barron's confidence as well to play in these type of high caliber, high stress games to develop them even more. So I'll keep an eye on that. And Owen Beck and Peterborough took out Logan Mailloux and the London Knights last week in the OHL finals. Owen Beck and Peterborough are in the Memorial Cup against the Seattle Thunderbirds, I believe. Owen Beck and Logan Mailloux went head-to-head in the finals in the OHL last week. It's good to see that we have competition within our prospects, within the Canadian Hockey League, within these different leagues, just gaining more experience as well. So we'll keep an eye on how Owen Beck and the Peterborough Pete's doing that against, I believe, Jared Davidson as well, with the Seattle Thunderbirds coming out of the WHL finals. He's going head-to-head. He's another Habs prospect. So we have Habs prospects all around, playing in the Memorial Cup. So it's just good for development, good for competition, and just keeping these players honed in and sharp. So I need to do an episode on what to do with this Florida draft pick now that the Florida Panthers are in the Stanley Cup Finals. Going from at the end of the season, if Florida had lost that last game of the season, we would have had, the 13th or 14th pick in the first round of the draft to now potentially picking 32nd. There's different ideas of what to do with that pick, and I am going to devote an episode. I don't know if it's going to be this week or next week on really what could benefit the Habs the most out of that pick, and what could draw the best fruits and benefits out of that pick the most. So I'm going to be doing that. But anyways, that's all I got for this episode, guys. Stay tuned for the next one coming up some point this week. Go Habs, go. I'll talk to you all next time.